which were agreed. You sent even engineers to these villages under interconnectivity, and you are doing procurement. Can you? Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Power seems to be straightforward. Can we deal with the power? Now here, colleagues, PAU wants the supplementary of 1.8 billion. Colleagues, you are aware the issues of PAU have always come in this committee. In the beginning, we recognized the importance of PAU as far as our petroleum sector is concerned as an agency which will protect the interest of Uganda against the sophisticated multinationals for us to benefit from our oil. At one time we are arguing, why is petroleum underfunded, petroleum authority underfunded? And with the support from all ourselves, PAU was added some money in the budget. After they added money in the budget, it's also understood that finance is not facilitating PAU. Finance, our understanding is you are not facilitating PAU with the money available in the budget. When you make releases, you are not releasing their money and they are released. They are suffocated. Now today we are surprised to see that you're already asking for a supplementary of 1.88 billion, yet you are not releasing them the money available in the budget. So finance and PAU, you clear this position for us so that we understand where we are heading.
I think, Chair, since it is a PAU which has been complaining, I would request that they bring their percentage releases we have given them. Because it is not fair. Because now for us, we release according to the work plans. So if they have been complaining, let them show the committee that this is the amount of money they have raised up to date. Then we can be able to answer, to respond.
Are you okay with the budget, though it's not enough? Or are they releasing the budget?
Thank you, Honorable Chairman and honorable members. I do understand that the budget release has been affected by the critical needs in government. So the releases have not been as appropriated by Parliament, and our understanding is that it's because of the issues of funding that the government is what is dealing with.
I think, Chair, it is not fair. You put the figures to the committee, this is your budget for wage, non-wage and development. Then with this generalization is not good.
Mr. Otonga, you're finance manager, not so?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I will declare my interest to the committee to know that this Otonga was one time my classmate. He was following me in Max. In Max was following me, but it was so.
I cannot also declare my interest.
Yes.
I worked with him.
Okay. So I know him as a very good officer. He's a very good officer, so you'll take on him, ask him questions. But what I'm interested in is, power was given as a budget. Tell us, as you're asking for a supplementary, how are you performing in the budget as far as releases are concerned? So that it informs us why we can say a supplementary, because you don't have enough in the budget. Honorable Cecilia always tells you unavoidable as per the law, unforeseeable, and a transfer. So if money is there which is not utilized, do we need a supplementary? Or you go, if there is anything which has cropped in, we go to the budget and execute it.
Thank you, Chair. So far as of the third quarter, we received up to 27 billion against the budget of 61.72 billion. Of course, the annual budget is 61.72 billion. Yeah, 72 billion. So we have received 27 so far. The third quarter, yeah. It is the kind of slightly more than what, 50%, so about 41%. Yeah.
So it therefore means you are left with 1 quarter. You are left with 1 quarter, which means you are going to have a lot of money left in your budget, because I don't see any magic where you are going to exhaust the 50% of your budget within 1 quarter. Is there any chance like that?
There are certain line item, Chair, where because of the rationalizations, those line items for which our budget has been appropriated, that we are not going to get a release for those line items. One of the line items, Chair, is the workshop and meetings. Chair, the Petroleum Authority of Uganda operates like our Parliament of Uganda. They were blocked. Nobody's getting the money. Training also, we have put a lot of engagement, but at least this quarter, we have been allowed to put some money on training. The capital, the budget itself, there has been challenges in the release of the capital budget, but we expect that if probably in the last quarter, there could be some release coming through some of those line items.
Okay, now if I observe, under this supplementary, you are saying workshops have been blocked, but under this supplementary, one of the things you want to fund is workshops.
Chair, let me
You want to
explain.
fund training according to your own document.
Yes, Chair.
So what is the chance that when you get this approval, still workshops are there? And
Chair,
you have money in the budget which was approved for workshops unutilized. So why do we again vote more?
Chair, we did actually write to the Ministry of Finance explaining our need as an institution. And then also we did actually indicate the critical areas for which we need to be allowed to appropriate, to warrant funding on those line items. The letter we got in this quarter, Chair, has been very encouraging, in the sense that the Minister of Finance allowed us to be able to warrant money on the different line items based on the cash release. So the restriction that we did receive in the first and the second quarter, from the letter we received in the third quarter, it seems that restriction is being lifted, and we can now be allowed to warrant money within the cash release for some of these line items. Chair, if you may allow me to present this request. This request is to allow us to access funding from African Development Bank, a grant for a project of the East African crude oil pipeline project, the project cutting across Uganda and Tanzania. The grant from the African Development Bank, Chair and honorable members, is to build the capacity of Ugandan businesses, the micro, the small and the medium-sized business of Uganda, to partake of the opportunity that is coming with the East African crude oil pipeline. Chair, the investors in the East African crude oil pipeline will be able to buy our labor, they will be able to buy our food, buy our water, buy our electricity, buy a lot of things from us during the construction and throughout the life of the pipeline, which is over 25 years.
Sidia? No.
So that's why I was wondering how we allow the proceed before our conditionalities are met, because we normally don't look at the presentation unless we know the law line the minimum requirement. So I think your first question is very valid. Can we be convinced that all these things they're asking for were not foreseen at the time the budget was being made? Can they tell us the emergency measure so that if we don't approve it now, the system will shut down? Can it not be avoided until we enter all these requirements in the budget? So I think you need to, Mr. Chairman, my concern is purely
You are right.
to guide the institution whether what they are presenting and they meet our minimum requirement.
You are
We are
very
not talking about the budget, we are talking about
supplementary.
And supplementary, you are not allowed to make any request unless you meet those conditions.
So, Paul, can you explain how come it's coming as supplementary? Why wasn't it budgeted for? Or why should it not be budgeted for in the coming year? Why
Sure.
come now as...
Thank you, Chair. The conditionality, was it not foreseen? At the time when the budget for this financial year was being finalized, the discussions on the funding from the African Development Bank was still on the table. And we were not very sure when the closure of the discussion would be concluded. And if at that point in time, Chair and honorable members, there was certainty that the closure would be done within a short period of time, we would have been able to put it on the budget as an off-budget funding financial system to allow us to access funding from the African Development Bank. From African Development Bank. This is a $500,000. It's from African Development Bank.
Oh,
Chair,
you are getting how much? 500?
$500,000.
This comes 1.88.
1.88, yeah. Chair, so that's
This is why we remain with the question. The grant means what? We shall never pay. It's free money.
Is, yeah, it's a grant money. But then the law requires
So the
that
source is external.
it's external.
By now, it has been given to us by ADB. So, if you don't appropriate it, you can't utilize it. Yeah. So, secondly, Chair, on the issue of the releases and non-releases, I've requested my colleagues to give us the numbers, and we'll take the comments of the committee that we should release money to the petroleum and others as budgeted and on time. Yes.
I think, colleagues, it's clear. The money is a grant, hand of God has come, but they can't spend without the legal appropriation. So they are requesting us to appropriate money so that they can use that money which we have been given as a grant. Yes.
Yes, Chair.
Is that supplementary, the avenue? Because supplementary is only for emergency, is actually for
Chair, information attached. Information to help you further that question. This agreement was actually signed on the 17th of September 2020. And one of the provisions after the budget, and if you read Article 2, because you have this information with you, Article 2, Section Entry into Force, they said this agreement shall enter into force upon signature by the recipient and the bank. So in other words, when we're budgeting, this item was not there. It could not have been foreseen because it came into force on 17th September 2020. And from what I have seen, all the items that Power is asking are the very components of these agreements. And finance has confirmed that this money was actually given to the government. So the only route to accessing this money is through a supplementary.
Officer guidance, can you guide us? Is there anything contradictory? So, our legal officer says, the agreements are clear. The money has come. It's in our, Mr. Finance, the money is in our treasury. And the activities to be done are there.
Exactly.
But the money came after the budget.
Has to be appropriated.
Now we can't wait until next year. They need to run these activities to prepare the competence of Power.
Yes, Chairperson.
So we only have to appropriate the money and they go ahead.
Do grants go to the Committee of National Economy?
No, they don't.
Okay. So I think Power can take leave. Yeah.
But before they take leave, understand one thing. You're going to do a lot of things to this SM, whatever you call it,
Yeah,
to educate these people.
Yeah.
I do not know whether the East African crude oil pipeline construction or whatever has started. You are going to start educating these people, giving them capacity building and doing what? And the pipeline takes another 5 years to start. Wouldn't you have wasted time? Because you will just have to start again. You know what you're going to do. So are you going to immediately start, once you get the money, are you immediately going to start doing this? Well aware that the pipeline project has not yet started.
Sure, the pipeline project starts after the final investment decision is made. And the final investment decision, at least, is very optimistic. We think that by March, which is next month, most likely the final investment decision will have been made. Then after that, you will have 18 months period for construction of the pipeline. We want to prepare the business communities early enough so that they can partake of the opportunity. When the construction begins, they should not be left out.
Okay, take leave.
Thank you, Chair.
Or you are interested in more questions? Colleagues, we have Mama colleagues.